Want a world build? Anyone want to? Because I do, for the first time in a really long time, so we're gonna do it. Couple updates. I am moving soon, like at the end of this month, and so that means we're in the final days of our plotting on the mirror era. It's very sad, but moving is gonna be great. Change is good. I'm very excited. I really am. I won't have to evacuate anymore, which is gonna be great. And yeah, so I guess that's the only update that I have for you guys at the moment, actually. I hope you've been busy. Worldbuild Maledict for the first time in a really long time. I like the idea of that. Okay, so we're gonna do world building question of the day. Where's my laptop? I'm gonna find my laptop. It was in my laundry basket, right where it belongs, obviously. World building, the Maledict book, because I haven't worked on it in 8 freaking months, and I'd love to know what the heck's going on in there, because I want to feel productive and I want to feel creative, and because my horoscope told me to. Okay. Random number generator through 1305. Okay. 1175 is the first question. Do people in your setting celebrate any milestone birthdays? If so, what makes these birthdays more special than other birthdays? This world is really interesting. I hate that word. I hate that word. It's so non-committal. I'm like having a crisis over here. Forget it. So the first one is 11. I am gonna pitch myself off a bridge. See, you see why I wanted the purple marker? First one is 1175, milestone birthdays. This is a world that's very much like our own, in that, you know, your kids, and then you come of age, and then you enter the workforce kind of thing. It's very similar to ours in that there are universities. It's just a little bit unique in that there is alchemy involved. I feel like there are important numbers in alchemy that are like repeated, but I could just be thinking of a different practice altogether. Just give me a second. 7. This often associated 7 metals with the 7 known planets in the ancient world, making it a key symbol for completeness and perfection. I don't like that though. But these include gold, silver, mercury, copper, iron, tin, and lead, each linked to a celestial body. I mean, there's the 4 elements, but the 4 elements don't really matter in this world. The element, well, I mean, they do, but like, I don't want them to matter as much as Stardust does. I don't give a fuck about JKR, sorry. The elements of the Philosopher's Stone is the 5th element, which is created when the 4 elements are united. That's why they brought up JKR, I mean. But they don't, we have more planets than that. But this is a realm that does not mimic our own. Just a reminder, this world looks like a donut. Just, so like the laws of physics are not all quite there. So I don't have to, I'm just gonna doodle this for you guys again, because it's been 8 months. So this is a world. We're going back, so you don't have to watch all of the Stardust stuff in order to. Okay, so we have a house that exists at like the top of the world. It's not technically the top, but like, you get the idea. And at the top of the world, it's a house that has, it's like a manor that has a giant hole in it. It's like a palace, right? I'm talking huge. This thing's like an estate, right? And in the middle of this courtyard, where people would normally have a courtyard, is a massive hole that tunnels all the way through, they don't know it at the time, to the other side of the planet. Okay? Now, have people fallen in here? Probably. But that's not what the story is about. The story is about them catching Stardust, because Stardust falls into this hole in this house. What the fuck is that? Listen, I'm not an illustrator. This is awful, actually. Okay, this is a huge house. Huge. Okay? It's massive. Alright? if I, it doesn't matter how many arrows I draw, it's gonna look awful no matter what. So there are stardusts, stars, crumbling into little bits into the atmosphere, and they're falling into a net that is right here. Now the net catches the stardust, and the caretakers of the estate, which is our main character, she draws the net in every night or every morning, probably every morning if I had to guess. And stardust that is collected becomes the it's like sold as energy across the realm. Now what they don't know, what they don't understand, because this net hasn't existed for very long, like 15 years, 20 years, something like that. They are stopping the stardust from appearing on the other side of the world, because the world has this hole on both sides where the stars are supposed to come in and the stars are supposed to come out, and this cyclical creates light. Now if you stop the flow here and you're catching shit in this net, then there's nothing coming out. So what happens instead? Darkness starts to spread. I did not mean to rhyme, forgive me. And the darkness is creeping back up. So that is happening. And at the same time, this stardust that is being caught here is being used in bad ways. Basically, it's a drug. Basically, it's crack cocaine, but like worse. To me, this manuscript is like a gothic arcane. Yeah, she is selling it in like to the people that matter, but the people that matter are not always good, and so it gets into the wrong hands, it gets stolen, it gets taken, whatever. Her brother ends up hooked on it and her brother dies. Now the person who is cutting the stardust into drugs is none other than her father's ex-intern, basically, or her mother's ex-intern, probably her mother's if I had to guess. And he like quit doing it for reasons unknown that we're probably going to discover either today or soon. And he got the brother hooked on the drugs. I mean, the brother got himself hooked on the drugs. It's not the drug dealer's fault, but the brother died as a result of it. And so she has this off page before the manuscript begins, but she has it in her head that she's going to kill him the same way that her brother died. And that's like what our story starts with. So this is our world, this is our setting. Now what the fuck was the question? You know what I like? I like the idea that this planet has moons, and the moons are the thing. Now don't ask me why the moons aren't getting sucked into the hole. I can't tell you. I don't know. I'm gonna say it's divine. It's divine, and we're gonna make it 3. We've got 3 moons. Awesome. Sold. Done. It's over. That's all we need. So whatever the 3 moons represent something different. I'm gonna say that they're different colors. The reason that I say this is that because milestone birthday, if the planet revolves around milestones, then one of the easiest ways to do milestones is either with magic or with religion. And so we're gonna make it magic, but I needed to know like what is the most important number in this magical society, and we're gonna make it 3 because 3 is a structure. 1 is a coincidence, 2 is a pattern, 3 is a structure. 3, you can build things with it. So I'm gonna say anything that's a multiple of 3, and then we're gonna say 3. So 9 is an important birthday. This feels dumb at this point. Why am I going this far in depth with this? Because I can. I say multiples of 9 are important. So then we have 18. And we have 9 is when you can start. 9 is when you are, well, I mean, okay, alchemy exists in this world and stardust exists. They are 2 separate entities entirely. So 9 is when you're able to take the alchemist's test to discover if you like have a knack for it, I guess. I can't come up with the word right now. And then 18 is when you like pick your vocation. And then 27 is a big fat question mark. I don't know what 27 is. I haven't reached there myself yet. So 526 is how big are sports in your setting? Not at all, because I don't want to take care of it. Are they of national significance? Yeah, no, not a chance. Do any gods of your world have a physical, tangible form? Yes, they do have an actual physical form, but the physical form has been separated in order to provide light for the planet. One. Describe your world's most famous stadiums, arenas, or other locations where organized sports take place. Is this a sign that I'm supposed to be doing sports? It's not like you could have something like Star Ball or anything like that, because Stardust is a finite resource. So is there like an alchemy sport? No, that's boring to me, and it has nothing to do with the plot, so we're literally skipping it. It's not a sign. 364. If this one is also sports related, then it's a sign. Are elderly people treated any differently to younger people in your world? I'm gonna say no. Like more respect. Yes. 1247. What are some sounds that can be heard in your setting in the middle of the night? I'm picturing like what the black hole sounded like in Interstellar. Like just this like buzzing sound. Maybe it's like maybe there's like a sound radiating from here. So she hears that. What is he hearing? From this, I don't feel like there's anything unique about it. You're just gonna hear like sounds of the city and stuff. I'm not making this any more difficult than it needs to be. I'm not doing a 16-minute answer again. Oh my god. It's not one thing, it's magic. Sorry, I just figured out the ending. I've been thinking for like the last, whenever I think about this manuscript, which is admittedly not frequently, I'm sorry, that physical essence of the god was going to be kind of like Tinkerbell, like hiding in one of the lights in the chandelier of the main house. And I still like that idea that it's like one last, it's like one spot and it's been with you the whole time. Like I love that, be in this like celestial, I'm gonna put like ideas here, like kind of what I wanted it to look like was just this big globe, and they had to break it in order to get the god out. But what I like instead, because she's going to be dying, she got hit harder than he did, or like closer to the heart than he did, and so he has more time than she does. And what I like instead, so rather than running, it's going to be like one big magic spell, which slays, I fear. I can see it in my head, and it slays, okay? Maybe my description isn't working, but to me it slays. What buildings in your setting are most interesting, architecturally speaking? What makes them stand out? I don't want to be lame, but this is like a standalone. Okay, so they're in the manuscript, they go to a library. Like that's their journey. So I'm not sure like what makes this library so special, but definitely that, and then definitely the school. But then what would cause him to quit? Her mother dying. He didn't have a teacher anymore. Oof. We're warmed up. Main character, and I forgot her name, and I forgot his name. I forgot both of their names. So we're gonna act like it's been 8 months, and I kind of want to start over. An exercise that an old professor of mine taught me was that you know everything that you need to know about your character when you know what they're doing at every hour of the day, which I don't think that that's true. But the basic premise is there. So at like 7 a.m. versus 7 a.m. for him versus, well, at 7 a.m. let's say that she's just woken up and she's tugging the net in, so she's collecting the stardust. At 7 a.m. Yeah, I'm glad that I'm restarting this because he needed some work. I swear he's just going to sleep. And I have an inkling his alchemy lessons with her mother stopped when her mother died. And then he couldn't get a, like, basically like a scholarship anywhere else, which is why he started cutting stardust. When her brother asked him for some, he said yes, told him how to use it, and the brother used it wrong. But he did it because he wanted to go back to school, and he, like, what looks better than the recommendation of the last living male heir of the, I had a really cool name for her and I don't remember what it was, in the school for alchemy. And so he'd be able to like nudge his professor and be like, hey, like my mother really believed in this man, like can you bring him on as well? And so he wanted the LOR, but then the brother overdosed. Knowing that he has no other option, because the one man who would have given him an LOR is now dead, and he feels guilty because of that. The only other person who like knows him well enough to give him an LOR hates his guts. So naturally he is studying alchemy alone. And I anticipate library, but like, because it's probably 50-50 between the library and the lab. If he can like break into the lab somehow to like do his like star cutting situation, who knows? And then meanwhile she is going to school, and she's also the sole caretaker of her younger brother as well. So wait, but she is not, she hasn't even deserved a spot in the school yet. She is going to her assistant's position. Yeah, and she's helping him with his experiments. And is she the only reason that they don't go awry? Yeah, but does he ever give her credit for it? Of course not. 5 p.m. he goes home, and then she stays behind, uses the supplies for her personal gain, because she's trying to build a weapon that will kill him. By 9 p.m. she's home, her brother's fed, and then at midnight she's watching the stars come in through her glass ceiling. I anticipate more experiments. 5 p.m. he would be off, I don't know. By 9 p.m. he's dealing, breaking into the library. $5 p.m. is a question mark. So we've got their general outlines. Okay, now we get out the emotional wound thesaurus, which is my personal favorite part of the process. And we pinpoint what wounds these two have. Okay. Ooh. Now that's one way to do it. So I always saw her as someone who's like very, 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 very safe, and so and very cautious. And so it could be that her parents died as a result of a home invasion when people were trying to steal the Stardust to like go and get money. And so I mean, what if like 3 members of her family died because people wanted drugs? Sort of hate him like even more because of the implication regarding, so 2 of them were because people wanted drugs, and then the 3rd one was because of an overdose. So, and okay, so if this is the case and it's a home invasion that killed her parents, then false beliefs that could be embraced, strangers should be feared, and I do agree that she probably has that. We're actually gonna read them all. Anyone I don't know is a potential threat. I wasn't safe in my own home, so I'm not safe anywhere. That's not true. Sympathy is a sign of weakness. I can't keep my loved ones safe. I'm to blame for what happened. I don't think that she would have that. The police are inept and can't protect me. I don't think there are any police here. Like, not really. Who the frick's in charge? The world is full of evil people. Control is only an illusion. I do think that she has the control. The character may fear trusting the wrong person, being alone and vulnerable, having your control taken away, another break-in, criminals, and addicts. Particular elements associated with the ordeal, e.g. enclosed spaces if they were hiding in a closet. Possible responses and results. Being obsessive about home safety, which she is. Heightened alertness. Becoming withdrawn or secretive. That's literally her. Struggling when she's alone, even suffering panic attacks and paranoia. Insomnia or difficulty sleeping. Experiencing vivid nightmares. Waking with a racing heartbeat. Feeling uncomfortable around certain items used in the attack. That's an interesting one. Feeling followed or watched, feeling unsafe in one's home but feeling too fearful to leave it. Reliving what happened, having a difficulty enjoying the little things. Yeah. Needing to know where one's children are at all times. That's her with her little brother. Buying a weapon or joining a self-defense class. She creates a weapon instead. Personality traits that may form, alert, analytical, blah, 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 blah. Triggers that may aggravate the wound, hearing about a break-in, being left home alone, the doorbell chiming when one was not expecting visitors, a stranger asking for help, an event that leaves one feeling exposed, leaving one's teenager home alone and her not answering the phone when one calls. Now if he is so obsessed with alchemy, being raised by a narcissist is what it landed on. Okay. Yeah, I can see this. Being raised by a parent who withheld love and affection via the silent treatment, demanded excellence and then took credit for one's successes. His father was like a renowned alchemist. If that was the case, then why did he gamble the money away? Was he found out? But I do like that idea. So we're gonna want one of his family members to die because of a professional's negligence. Seeing the death of a loved one at the hands of an inexperienced or impaired medical practitioner. Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe this thing is someone else. Maybe it was an alchemist that claimed credit where their offspring, yeah, and then the one time that his family needed it, paid like all of their savings or something. Okay, there it is. Yeah, my instincts don't work. I was a fool for trusting the doctor, parentheses, or the system, the police, etc. It's my fault for putting my trust in the wrong person. I can't keep my loved ones safe. I wasn't thorough enough in my research. I love it when a plan comes together. The character may fear places associated with the loved one's death, such as a hospital, ski hill, or jail cell. Sensory triggers, losing another loved one unexpectedly, the practitioner going unpunished, and someone else dying as a result. Possible responses: being unable to forgive the guilty party, taking personal vengeance on the one to blame, adopting an attitude of apathy and despair. Love my men apathetic. Becoming overly protective of remaining loved ones. Maybe they both have one. Because that would be something for them to like bond over. Aside from focusing so much on the lost loved ones. Difficulty choosing new practitioners and making choices in general that could have repercussions. That would mean that him saving her at the end would like heal this wound. So that slays. Going on a quest to find answers for closure would cause him to dive into alchemy. That slays. So what happened to his family member.
Hi, I was gonna edit the video into one long thing, but it works out better if I do world building and character planning and then I do another video on outlining. So they are gonna be two different videos and I only filmed one closing statement. So I just wanted to let you guys know, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. I'm hoping to put the other part out like before the end of this week. So keep your eye out because I did end up finishing outlining the entirety of Maledict. So I'm so excited and I hope you are too, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye!